A Canadian man who now identifies as transgender has been transferred to a women's prison with an actual mother and child unit despite having been convicted of R-ing a 3-month-old infant. That's right, this absolute sick C-U-N-T Canadian Adam Lebucan was sentenced in 1999 when he was 17 years old for R-ing a 3-month-old infant. He was the babysitter. He was being paid to look after the 3-month-old, yet he subjected the 3-month-old baby to an horrendous act. The baby survived, thankfully, but required reconstructive surgery. The sick scumbag Adam Lebucan was sentenced to an indeterminate prison sentence. So I'm not quite sure what that means. I don't think I've ever come across that before. An indeterminate prison sentence. What the heck does that mean? Oh, we'll let you out when we feel like it. Oh, maybe if you behave yourself, we'll let you out at this point. If you don't, we'll let you out at another point. An indeterminate prison sentence. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. I would have given the scumbag life in jail, or I would have actually given him the death penalty. There are many cultures that would give this scumbag the death penalty in public. A public hanging, a public stoning, thrown off the top of a tall building. I'd be more than happy with any of those scenarios myself, personally, for this scumbag. But we're told that Adam Lebucan now identifies as a woman. He's declared his name is Tara D'Souza, and with that, the Canadian authorities thought that it would be a good idea to transfer this child artist, this baby artist, to transfer him to the Fraser Valley Institution for Women. Yeah, that's right. He R'd a 3-month-old infant, a baby, and now he's declared that he's a woman with the name Tara D'Souza. So the Canadian authorities said, yeah, okay, well, you're a woman now. You declare yourself as such, so obviously you are. That's all you have to do, declare yourself as such. Now you're a woman. And as a woman, you must be put into the Institution for Women, despite the fact that you are a child artist, a baby artist. We're told that the Fraser Valley Institution for Women features a minimum security annex that hosts a program for incarcerated mothers and their babies. Minimum security. So I'm presuming that this scumbag will still be held in maximum security, or certainly adequate security, not minimum security. And I hope and pray that this absolute sick, twisted fuck never sets foot into the annex that houses mothers and their babies. We're told that other inmates who are not mothers may be permitted to stay with the mother and child annex. They can act as babysitters or aunties, though they may be subject to a risk assessment. Well, let's fucking hope so. Let's hope these fucking Canadian authorities that have deemed themselves, well, shown themselves to be dumb enough to transfer a child artist born a male to a women's only facility, one of which houses mothers and babies. Why would you do this, Canada? This is so dumb, so negligent. It's inviting a wolf into a flock of sheep. He's a danger. He R'd a 3-month-old baby. He's a sick fuck. And you're bowing down to his declaration that he's now a woman. You're putting female prisoners and potentially their babies at risk just to appease this guy's fantasies. Because that's what it is. I know not everyone's going to appreciate me saying that, but that's what it is. This is a man, a male, who fantasizes that he is a woman, and that's all it is. It's a fantasy. He's not a woman. He's a man. He is male. He was born male. How do we know that? Well, because the doctors declared him as such. Guess what? Doctors know what they're talking about. Guess what? Science says there's a difference between men and women. Quite a significant difference. A physical, biological difference. Why wouldn't the Canadian authorities just say, hey, Adam, you now consider yourself a woman. Okay, you can consider yourself a giraffe for all we care. You're staying in the fucking male's jail though. Sure, you can put on some makeup if you want, put on a wig, whatever. Who gives a flying fuck? But you're not going into a woman's facility on the grounds that you're not a fucking woman. Why has the Canadian prison authorities bought into this scumbag child artist's fantasies? They've appeased him. Oh, we don't want to hold you back. Oh, you declare yourself a woman now. Oh, okay, well, we wouldn't want to get in the way of that. We wouldn't want to be considered bigots. We wouldn't want to appear discriminatory. You declare yourself a woman? Fine. well, let's put you into the women's prison. Let's completely ignore the fact that you're not a woman. Let's ignore that. Let's completely ignore the fact that you're a child artist. Let's ignore that. Let's just appease your wishes. Canadian prison authorities, you are weak, pathetic, and negligent. You have presented a danger to your female prisoners and their babies. Have I said too much? Perhaps so. YouTube may not appreciate what I've just said. I'm not sure. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a transphobe. If you want to be a transgender person, well, it's up to you. But we got to protect ourselves. There are certain circumstances where we cannot, should not, will not appease. I have transgender friends. I'll appease them to a degree. Why not? Doesn't do much harm. If they want to be addressed as being a different gender than they were born, okay. Doesn't bother me too much. Find it a little odd, but that's fine. They're a friend. They're a nice person, as far as I understand. So I'll appease them. It's not too much of a hardship for me. But that's really in trivial matters. This is far beyond a trivial matter. This is putting a male child artist into a women's facility in which babies are also housed. We've seen this situation before. This is not the first time that a male has declared themselves to be a woman and then been transferred from a male prison to a female prison. That's not the first time that that's happened. Guess what happens when that happens? Further attacks ensue, at least on some occasions. So I think I'm entitled to have my thoughts, which, by the way, are just approximate thoughts. I'm not giving this subject too much consideration. This is from the top of my head. If I'm viewing things incorrectly, don't just insult me, point it out to me. And we'll see if your take on things are more reasonable than my take on things, if we address those, view those reasons maturely. But let's get back to the article. We're told that Adam Lebuchan's dating profile in 2018 claims that he now has a vagina and breast implants. That's right, he was jailed in 1999, but somehow he magically formed a vagina and breast implants. Or did the Canadian prison system pay for and allow him to have reconstructive genital surgery? Probably. Yeah, Canada. That's probably what you did, isn't it? You probably thought, oh, hey, look, we've got this guy, right? He's a child artist. He AR'd a 3-month-old baby, but they want something, so let's give it to him. He now declares himself as a woman. He wants to have genitalia reconstructive surgery, which is another way of saying he wants his dick and balls chopped off. He wants a hole gouged out, which he can pretend is a vagina. It's not a vagina. It's not a vagina. It will be a hole, a surgically constructed hole. It's not a vagina. They may wish it were, they may want it to be, they may view it as such, but it's not. Females are born with vaginas. You have hermaphrodites. There's some very minor cases where things don't quite go to plan, biologically, naturally, but women have vaginas. Females have vaginas. Males that chop off their dick and balls do not have vaginas. They have holes. Not a vagina. Not a uterus. Just holes, that's all. Breast implants aren't breasts. There's no mammary glands there. They're just bits of silicone shoved under the skin. That's all. It's all pretense. You're allowed to pretend. Go ahead, pretend. It's your body. Do what you want. But it doesn't make it an actual fact. When Tom Cruise acts in Mission Impossible 27 and he's pretending he's whatever he is, a top spy or CIA agent, whatever. I don't watch those movies, but he's not actually a top spy, although he's a pretty good stuntman. But he's not actually a top spy. He's pretending. It's all make believe. It's not real. Same situation here. Now, we can all be deluded to some extent or other, but I would suggest that perhaps at least some trans people are a little bit more deluded than would be considered sane. But that's just my layman's opinion. Perhaps I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I doubt you're an expert. I doubt there are any experts. Too many experts. There's going to be people that claim to understand the trans issue inside and out. Whether or not they do, I'm not so sure. But either way, this scumbag child artist claims that he's now a woman, that he now has a vagina, that he now has breasts, and thereby should be allowed into a female incarceration facility. And Canada said, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're pretending to be a woman. You've chopped off your knob. You've gouged a hole in your genitalia area. You've shoved some silicone under your skin. Yeah, sure. Let's call you a woman now. Let's put you in with real women. Let's put you in with children, even though you're a child artist. And that's what they've done. So I've read through the article pretty much here. I've expressed my opinion. I'm going to post the video. There's a good argument that I shouldn't. This is a delicate subject. There's a lot of wrongthink. People get punished for expressing wrongthink. I don't want to be punished for expressing wrongthink. I don't think I have. I think I've made it clear that I'm speaking as a layman, not as an expert, that I'm expressing my knee-jerk reactions. I'm allowed to have thoughts going on in my head, that I do feel that it's right to be respectful towards transgender people, but there are certain circumstances that we must protect ourselves and others. And allowing a child artist into a facility that houses babies does not strike me as a good idea. It strikes me as negligent. I think it's also negligent and a waste of taxpayers' money to pay for reconstructive surgery for a child artist. I would not give a child artist such privileges. Oh, hey, you want expensive medication, you want expensive surgery. Okay, taxpayers, will you please hurry up and pay for this scumbag evil child artist's requirements? No, Canada, you fucking morons. You fucked up. Canada, you're pathetic. I'm not saying all Canadians, of course. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the Canadian authorities, notably the prison authorities that have overlooked this and similar situations, are pathetic, in my opinion. Gonna wrap things up at this point. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. Consider joining my membership. I welcome your comments, but I'm gonna say I do need them to be respectful. I will remove comments that are clearly bigoted. I have to. And I probably would even if I didn't have to. So there's that. I'm sickened by the subject. I'm sickened by a lot of these subjects. They bring me down. They probably bring you down. And with that, I'm going to say I very much appreciate you watching, listening. I very much appreciate you commenting. But please don't watch too many of my videos. They're depressing. They're of a negative tone. They can inspire anger. And they can really mess up our vibe. So don't watch too many. Go away. Watch something else more positive. Go for a walk. Play with your dog. Play with your cat. Play with your children. Do something more uplifting. But I'll end things at this point. Take care.